guys, this is Chris and Kai's cooking show. I am Chef Chris, and as you can see, Chef Kai is not here. He is actually here. He's just off in the other room hanging out with his mama for a little bit. It's Easter, so what is it we got going on today? Well, today we're going to make an Italian sweet corn, and we're going to make an Italian Easter bread. This is going to be a kind of a knockoff. It's going to be like a pinwheel type thing. Hopefully it'll be good. I'll bring in Chef Kai in for the later part of this because we've got to let the dough rise for about half an hour. So let's get it started. Here in this bowl, I have a teaspoon of yeast, dry yeast. It's sitting in about half a cup of warm water and a teaspoon of honey. Basically, that's where we're at with that one. Now, in this bowl, I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Did not sift it, so we're gonna whisk it a little bit. I don't have a sifter. Probably should have a sifter, but I do not. So, got a teaspoon of kosher salt and a teaspoon of pepper. We're gonna go ahead and toss that in. Get that nice and mixed up. Alright, so now we want to make a little hole in the center. Breads have never been my thing to make, so this is going to be new to me, but it looked absolutely great. There's Chef Kai. And here I'm just hanging out back there. Alright, so we're going to take the yeast mixture, put it in the center. Now I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter, but I've let the butter sit for a little bit, so it's melted, but it's also not as melted. Hi, Chef Kai. Chef Kai spent the weekend with his grandma and his papa, his other papa. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start kneading this in. Get our hands all yucky. Alright, you kind of see a lot of dough. Alright, now this is a 10-minute process, so I'm not going to let you sit here and wait while I do this 10 minutes. So we're going to take that intermission. Alright guys, so after about a couple minutes of kneading, realized you got to add the water. You need to keep another cup of warm water on hand. And just knead that in while you're doing it. Once you get it nice and kneaded, it's going to take about 10 minutes. I didn't add all the water. Just what I felt like was needed to get the bread to the consistency we wanted, the dough. Basically, now we play the waiting game. Doesn't take a lot of rising. But what we're going to do is we're going to cover it with some plastic wrap and let it sit for half an hour. And that's where we're at with that. Not wide enough plastic wrap is what we call that. Alright, so we're going to set that over to the side here. And hopefully it'll stay covered enough to rise. That yeast in there. So, in the event that I was making something Italian, I thought I'd hit up the Italian grocery store. I had the chance to actually make it there on a Saturday. They don't open on Sundays, so it worked out in my favor. So for this Italian Easter bread, some of the things we're going to use are going to be salami, provolone, and a parmesan Reggiano. Now, I went with a garlic salami just because it sounded good. I mean, that's what it looks like, and I'm gonna tell you, we've already tried it, and it's pretty fantastic. I also went with something I like to get there. It's a hot supersetta. You can also get this at some of the better Hy-Vees in the Des Moines area, but not here in Ottumwa, so it's nice to be able to get some of that. It's tasty. I've chopped it up. You basically need 4 ounces for each roll that you're gonna make. I've chopped those up and mixed them up. I went with the young provolone. Mature provolone is not so good. Sharp provolone, not so good. Maybe that's just me. I love sharp cheddar. So basically we want about 2 ounces of that chopped up. And then the Parmesan Reggiano basically is a certain part of Italy where this Parmesan comes from. And this is imported, so it was a little more costly, but I'm not gonna lie, I like it. So, I love shredded Parmesan. Fresh is even better. Now, for this corn we're making, I'm also using Parmesan, but what you really want to use is a pecorino, which is basically the difference between a pecorino and a Parmesan is one is cow milk and one is sheep's milk. Could get some pecorino because I didn't think to get it while I was in town, and this really wasn't a recipe I was planning to make. So, you got more Parmesan. Should work out based on the fact that they're both aged cheeses. Got a crap ton of basil we're gonna use. Should be using fresh, but I don't have fresh. And something else we're not gonna be using is scallions. It's gonna get some, but I decided not to just for this recipe, just because I just don't like buying those giant packages of them and then using part of it. So, anyways, got about 30 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer for probably 25 and see where we're at there. While that's rising, I'm gonna start another batch because I'm trying to make enough for dinner, and we have guests, and I want to food prep, so I want to make sure I have enough for this meal. So, all right, guys, we'll be back as soon as that is good and ready to go. Welcome back, guys. It is Chef Chris, and we have the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny Kai. Hey, buddy. All right, so where are we at? Well, we let it sit for a while. Not so sure it rose like I was hoping it would, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. So, got my 13 by 9 here. We're just gonna take this towel. We're just gonna rub it in there. I've got some garlic olive oil in there. Why not? This is gonna prevent it from sticking. So, just set that aside. Got an egg wash here, basically 2 eggs, since I'm doing both of these. And then I've got 3 tablespoons of butter melted again for each of these. So, now, let's get to the, I don't do this very often, so bear with me. I'm gonna sprinkle some flour. Hopefully it doesn't stick to the table. Basically, we're going to roll out a 20-inch by 12-inch roughly doodad here. Got my rolling pin. All right, so you ready to start throwing stuff? I'm gonna punch that. The other one's been sitting for a little while, but it's probably more rising than this one, so I'm not really sure what the deal is. So, apparently he did not want the bunny ears on. So, just like your little area set up down here, we're gonna get a little flour action on here. Now, hopefully this works out in my favor. Like I said, I do not do this very often. I don't even know what 20 is. I should have brought the tape measure. What do you think, Chef Kai? Tape measure? Maybe. Should have, yeah. Anyways, so this is where we're at. We're gonna roll it. Try and get some of the dough this way a little bit. Well, we know this is 13 by 9, so 20 by 12 would be slightly wider. Oh, yeah, so bake. .400 degrees, preheat your oven. Should have just done that from the beginning, which is, you know how I roll, but not today. Alright, we're going to squeeze some of this down this way. Yeah, that might be wider than 12 by 9. Alright, we're good. Alright, so got our brush here. Got 3 tablespoons of butter we're going to pipe on this baby. Probably just pour it on there. See that pepper in there? Tell me that doesn't look like a beautiful piece of bread. What do you think, sir? Okay. Yeah. Thank you for what, dude? For making some yummy food for Bobies? Yeah, he threw all his stuff, so he's ready for his stuff. Okay. Do you want a butter bath yourself, dude? Yeah, I'll get a couple of these for you. Alright, so now we want to sprinkle these evenly. We're going to start with the Parmesan. Yeah. Oh. So, Chef Kai, did you have a lot of fun with Grandma today? Huh? You just want to make sure you spread it out for the most part evenly. Get that flavor going. It's going to be cheesy. I actually probably put a little more cheese on here than I needed to. So, there's that. But you know what? We like cheese. Do like me a good provolone too. Those provolone's pretty tasty. Hopefully everybody else likes it. Alright, so got that pretty much taken care of. Let's do this. Like I said, a hot suppressetta and a garlic salami. And that garlic salami blows the hot suppressetta out of the water, and I'm not gonna lie, I like them both a lot. So hot suppressetta is a bit greasier though. I'm not sure really what they use to make that, but whatever it is, I like it. Something about some dry aged meat to make it taste pretty good. So we want to make sure both sides are getting this. Alright, so there we have it. That is that. So now we're just going to start rolling. Like I said, this is my first time making something like this. I don't do a lot of breads. Probably because of the immense amount of dough that's flying around and flour, and just don't like cleaning up those messes. Not that I'm lazy, I just don't have the time. Alright, so we got toppings plopping out. Oh, this a little sticky on the bottom. A little sticky. Maybe I needed a little more flour. Alright, so well, that is one fat log, not gonna lie. Hopefully this works out. Now I've got a serrated knife here. Hopefully not one that's gonna cut myself. You want about 16 of these bad boys. And we're gonna place them in here. Alright, babe. I got more for you. I got more for you. Yeah. Maybe I'll mark these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, might not be 16. Tell you what. I'm glad I chopped up those parts, so I kind of assumed you just rolled them up whole, but I imagine this is a lot easier to do with them in smaller pieces. What's up, dude? Alright. So that one kind of opened up a little bit. Call this Chef Chris and Kai's Throw the Dishes show. Kai's got that one down. Woohoo, dude. Woohoo. We've got 9 in there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, we didn't get 16, but hey. As long as they eat the same, who cares? What do you think, dude? Making a mess on the floor, that's for sure. Salami everywhere. Piece of cheese? How'd you get your foot up? Alright. So we are back. That's what she looks like. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty tasty. So, you know, maybe I'll drop some of these pieces that didn't fall on the floor over the top. Got our egg wash. So, let's go ahead and wash the top of this. Alright. Just want to cover anything exposed with egg, basically. Ooh, that's a lot of egg. That's going to be like a... Dude, you're falling out of that thing. Do we need to get the straps going? Do we? We need to get you some straps. Yeah, that's not cool, dude. You know, Papa would be upset. Papa won't be happy if you fall. Papa's not gonna be happy. All your stuff fell, dude. You wanna try some salami? See how that works? Ooh, yum. What do you think about that salami? Alright, so that's basically the gist of that one. That's what we're working with. Maybe we'll cover the rest of this butter. Alright, so we are waiting for it to preheat because, like a dummy, I forgot to do that part. So, we'll put it on hold while I put this other one together and then we'll stick them in. We'll be back. Alright guys, so I went ahead and stuck them in there, got them both made. Hopefully they're going to turn out okay because I'm starving. They're starving people here. Chef Kai's throwing a fit. Oh, hey, Chef Kai. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and get this corn rolling. Like I said, we are omitting some of the ingredients just because, you know, shallots. Who knows? Basically, we're going to heat up some oil in this pan. This recipe is more along the lines for fresh corn right off the cob. We're not doing all that. I've got 3 cans. I'm going to use about a pound, 16 ounces. Each can is 15 ounces. We're going to use the rest. Holy cow! Woo! There you go, dude. Alright, so now we've got chopped, got a couple teaspoons of chopped garlic in the oil. That's what I found. Didn't want to go back and searching for what I normally get, which is minced garlic. And I'm not roasting any garlic. It just basically need a couple cloves, so the teaspoons will be fine. 1 teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes. I went ahead with the Asian chilies I've got here. They'll do just fine, and the smell is just phenomenal. So I've ground those down. I'm gonna heat this up a little faster. Whoa! High five, dude. Leaving me hanging. Papa have a high five? Yeah, there we go. All right. And some corn. We know you like corn. I've seen the evidence. Don't you? So, we're gonna basically turn it down. We don't want to burn the corn. We just want to caramelize it a little bit. All right, so there we go. Might be too much corn for caramelizing, so let's get a nice metal. Metal on Teflon. That's what we want, right? So we want the garlic in there. Alright, we want some salt. We're just going to use a grinder, some pink Himalayan just for whatever reason. Have it forever, probably time to use it. That ought to be good. Doesn't call for any pepper for this recipe, so let's just get this garlic. We've got about 25 minutes on the stuff in the oven, or until it browns nicely. So basically, we're going to flatten this corn out. You can see we're going to get it nice and flat. And we'll sprinkle over the top of it this. Probably stir that in. Just because that's going to add a little bit of heat. We don't want it all to heat in one spot. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So we're just trying to caramelize this here. So, leave that sit. Alright, short intermission. Alright guys, so Chef Kai is definitely not feeling it. So, you only want to cook this for 2 minutes till it caramelizes. Then, you can shave this over the top. I just went ahead and grated the whole block. That way I could get rid of the leftovers and see how much I actually had. What's up, dude? You got something stuck? Like I said, this is probably a little extra cheese. Probably doesn't matter since I've got extra corn. That is about 3/4 of a cup of cheese. It called for 1/2 cup of basil, fresh basil. I don't have fresh basil, so I'm using a 1/2 cup plus 1/4 cup, so 3/4 of a cup of this freeze-dried basil. That's a lot, so I'm actually probably not going to use any more than that because that's a lot. Freeze-dried is a lot different than regular, so I might throw a little bit more on there. It's nice and green. So this is done. Basically, it's just going to all melt together. You can see how beautiful that looks. We're going to let it sit on low and stay heated. We've got 15 more minutes until this bread's done. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's definitely cooking. So we will be back in about 15, guys. All right, guys, we are back in action. Hoping these are done. That's where we're at with that. Better should keep that. All right, so give a little action on this before I start dicing it up. A little pinwheel action. Corn is looking good. We'll go ahead and get some of that corn out. You just want the corn to be warm when you serve it. Definitely a lot of basil in there. That's going to give it a lot of that flavor. Alright, so let's see if I can get one of these out of here. Give it a nice taste test. Oh, they're definitely done. See if maybe, just maybe. They stuck a lot more than they should have, considering how well I oiled up that pan. But yeah, get this one out of the center. Alright, so let's turn this off because we are going to serve this. Italian Easter bread and an Italian pecorino cheese corn, but instead of pecorino we got parmesan. I like the corn. I'm not gonna lie, I tried it before I even plated it while y'all were hiding. That is just about right. I know everybody else is starving, so let's try the bread. Pretty tasty. I'm not gonna lie. It needs like a marinade or something. Like a spicy marinade or something. So, definitely not gonna have any problems eating that all week. And I have plenty. So, there we are. This has been Chris and Kai's cooking show. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. Share it with your friends. Whatever you gotta do to make me famous. Alright, have a good weekend, guys.